watch influencers. They watch YouTube. They're on Instagram. They're on Twitter. You got to do it all. Yeah, and so
they're not watching you on Jesse Watters prime time right now?
I swear I'm going to make...
All right, so welcome back to XCOM 2.
And so Joe Biden's walking around in Italy, and Trump's at a birthday party with 5,000 people, raising a ton of cash. How do you see this race shaping up? About 2 weeks to go before the debate, which half the country thinks Biden's going to fall off the stage.
Yeah, look, what I'm really proud of you doing, and I'm glad to see this happening, is we've moved off from porn stars, cocaine, guns, and all this other stuff.
Right.
And we're talking about policy now, that roundtable discussion Trump had, where we heard the tax rate proposal between 15 and 21. That's of interest to me as an investor. I'm interested in policy. I'm really interested in what's going to happen in the regulatory environment, state by state, and at a federal level. I want to hear strategy on energy. I mean, I'm so tired of all the other stuff. And we're coming up to a debate where I don't think we want to talk about cocaine, guns, and porn stars. No. We want to hear, what do you got for America? What do you got? I think that's what's starting now, and you're part of it. Good for you.
We've had our fill of cocaine, that's for sure. Kevin O'Leary, are you endorsing anybody for vice president?
I'm just trying to make a point that in this election, the VP never mattered in past elections. It didn't matter. Any pollster will tell you that on either party. But because of the longevity issues of older candidates, you got take Biden's situation. An independent might look at it and say, I'm concerned about longevity. What do I got that's going to take over the office? And in the case of Harris, and look, don't shoot the messenger. Her poll numbers in her own party are horrific.
Right.
And independent's horrific. And you know, frankly, I think that's important. Biden is probably going to switch her out because he won't get independents if they're worried about longevity. In the case of Trump, and this is what I find so interesting, the dark horse in this whole thing is Doug Burgum. Now, if you think about Trump's bombastic approach to leading, and the trouble he got himself in, and even admits he got the wrong guys in some poll posts in the last election, Burgum's track record is spectacular. I mean, people don't know this about North Dakota. They're the richest Americans in America. If you're an American in California, you want Doug Burgum to turn you into a North Dakotan. And so I think you bring in a guy like that for executional skills and you say, here's a guy, go fix the border, go fix energy. That's what he does, and he's not bombastic like Trump. They could work together.
All right, I like it. Big endorsement on primetime. Maybe your children will hear about it eventually on DVR. Thanks, Kevin. Can illegal aliens vote? Yes, they can. Our military has been infested by a woke revolution.
The military, we grew up, and you lived through politics at the door. It's difficult to overstate the division that is being sown into our military.
It's about our sovereignty, it's about our liberty, it's about our Constitution.
These veterans are 24 records straight. XF hosts the War on Warriors. Streaming now only on Fox Nation. If you're an active duty military or military veteran, sign up now and get your first year free.
As you get older, your liver health becomes an increasingly important part of the aging process. We created Dose for Your Liver to make taking care of your liver. Dose is an organic blend of liver-supporting ingredients and is clinically backed to promote healthy liver function so that nothing's holding you back.
In 2 seconds, Eric will realize I'm in the space.
Gotta sell the house.
Open houses. Or skip the hassles and sell directly to Open Door. When my store's open, we'll enter the house.
This isn't just your normal bike. It bolts, it unfolds, and it just goes. Need to climb that hill? No problem. If you're looking for speed, you've come to the right place. 28 miles per hour, up to 65 miles of range. And it flips with hydraulic brakes. This is Electric E-Speed 3.0. Fully foldable, fully assembled, ships free. Simple as that. Go to electricebikes.com and come ride with us.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Connect with a provider today at ro.co/20.
For gentle, dependable constipation relief, try Senecot. It works differently than other laxatives because it's made from the senna plant, a natural vegetable laxative ingredient. Gentle, Dependable Senecot. Also available in delicious gummies.
We all know what it's like to worry, to not know where our dog is gone. Say goodbye to that with Tractive. Follow every step and find your dog in no time.
How come they didn't show up, man?
Monitor their activity, sleep, and get health alerts all in one easy-to-use app with unlimited range and support in over 150 countries. Tractive, the GPS tracker trusted by pet parents worldwide. Save 30% for a limited time.
My mental health was better, but uncontrollable movements called TD, tardive dyskinesia, started disrupting my day.
TD felt embarrassing. I felt like disconnected. I asked my doctor about treating my TD and learned about Ingrezza.
Ingrezza is clinically proven for reducing TD. Most people saw results in just 2 weeks. People taking Ingrezza can stay on most mental health meds. Only #1 prescribed Ingrezza has simple dosing for TD. Always one pill once daily. Ingrezza can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients with Huntington's disease. Pay close attention to and call your doctor if you become depressed, have sudden changes in mood, behaviors, feelings, or have thoughts of suicide. Don't take Ingrezza if you're allergic to its ingredients. Ingrezza may cause serious side effects, including angioedema, potential heart rhythm problems, and abnormal movements. Report fevers, stiff muscles, or problems thinking, as these may be life-threatening. Sleepiness is the most common side effect.
Take control by asking your doctor about Ingrezza.
Another particularly bad week for Joe Biden. His son was just convicted on federal gun charges, and his trip to Europe, that was a disaster. Full recap tonight on Hannity.
Hey, look what I found for movie night. But hey, you just hit the jackpot. Moving on.
Clubs, leagues, and corps in every province and territory across Canada, squashing these sports for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play, and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Last 2 years that I've been on my own, it's been very challenging in order to make ends meet. And consider I deal with things like food, because the cost of food down, also groceries and other necessities, and it's always done with a smile. Thanks to United Ways, seniors like myself live in grace and dignity.
All Biden's wandering around in Europe. Newsom's hanging out at the southern border, taking selfies in front of the wall that Trump built, bragging about how Democrats secured it. Matt Finn's in Jacumba, California with the real story.
Jesse Governor Newsom posted a new video in which he talks about doubling the California National Guard at legal points of entries here in this state, in which he says has resulted in the record seizure of fentanyl. However, we've been out here in the desert just outside of San Diego. We've seen more than 1,000 migrants freely and easily cross into the United States out here this week alone, and we don't see any California National Guard out here. So Newsom's new video really begs the question if he wants to send any National Guard out here, which is the epicenter of illegal immigration in this state. Here's a portion of Newsom's video.
It's very negative. The National Guard's men and women have been working, particularly as it relates to the fentanyl here in the state of California. Look at the bottom line. At the end of the day, they need more resources. Everybody needs more resources. The Republican Party is
and the Border Patrol Union in San Diego quickly responded to Newsom's video, writing in court, "We need help in stemming the flow of illegal migrants entering California, not rewarding illegal migrants with taxpayer-funded programs. Governor, if you are serious about closing the California-Mexico border, you would allow California National Guard to help us." And Fox News, we also shot this video of a group of mostly Chinese migrants who illegally crossed and ended up wandering around a rural residential area. Border Patrol processed the migrants in front of a home. A Border Patrol agent told us it's demoralizing day after day to keep chasing around illegal groups of migrants. It's not what they signed up for. And Jesse, the majority of the migrants we are talking to here in San Diego say they flew into Mexico and then paid a human smuggler a large sum, sometimes $10,000 or more per head, to smuggle them here into the United States. So we are witnessing a well-oiled criminal enterprise in which the state of California and the United States is being taken advantage of. Jesse.
We've had millions of strange illegals pour in since the last election. What's that mean for this election?
We now have so many non-citizens in the country that if only 1 out of 100 of those voted, they would cast hundreds of thousands of votes. If a nefarious actor wants to intervene in our elections, all they have to do is check a box on a form and sign their name. That's it. That's all that's required.
Illegals voting? Democrats told us that's impossible. But there are no federal requirements for states to verify citizenship of voters before they register. Republicans introduced a bill that would change that. If you want to vote, prove you're a citizen first. The Democrats are going to kill it in the Senate. They say it's already illegal for migrants to vote, so who cares? So, let's see what happens if an illegal votes. They'll get arrested and deported, right? Not exactly. There's a massive loophole. Title 18 U.S. Code 611 makes it a felony for non-citizens to vote in federal elections unless the alien reasonably believed at the time of voting that he or she was a citizen of the United States. That means if a Biden migrant votes, gets arrested, and their lawyer says, Biden granted Jose asylum, he thought he could vote. Jose gets off scot-free. In New York State, for example, you can register to vote without an ID, without a social security number, as long as you have a utility bill or a paycheck or government housing slip. And remember, if they get caught, oops, I didn't know it was illegal, charges drop. And who's really trying to catch them anyway? And will they catch them after the election? Biden let 10 million illegal aliens into this country. How are we ever going to accept the results of this election in this kind of landscape? Charlie Hertz, a Fox News contributor. I didn't know it was this easy, Charlie. Not only can you just plead, I didn't know, you could also just register if you're a migrant with an electricity bill.
Yeah, it's truly incredible. In fact, it's so incredible, it's kind of hard to believe that we're not making it up. But in fact, my paper, the Washington Times, has done extensive reporting on this and found, in fact, that there are quite a few cases of illegals who have actually been caught voting illegally in elections. We don't know how many because Democrats work very, very hard to conceal that number. And to start with, I think it's important to highlight what an important point you just made a minute ago, which is Democrats say, well, the reason we don't need to worry about this is because it's illegal for them to vote. Well, it's illegal for illegals to be illegally in the United States in the first place, and we have millions of them here. That's why we call them illegals. And so the idea that you actually have the federal government signing up these illegals for free welfare, free healthcare, free housing, free travel, and then pressuring them to sign up to vote, to register to vote illegally, you can't tell me that is that is an argument against trying to stop this. The whole thing is designed to get these voters to vote illegally, and Democrats know exactly what they're doing, and that's why they're doing it.
They know what they're doing, and Johnson made a good point when he said, what happens if all the Chinese nationals come here and they're all getting electricity bills, pay stubs, and they register, and they all vote for Joe Biden to save China from the Trump terrorists? There you go. That's the election interference right there.
Yep, and every single one of those votes deprives another citizen of their right to vote because it cancels out that vote. These people prefer illegals over U.S. citizens.
Right. Biden's open borders are disenfranchising real American voters.
Exactly.
Charlie Hurt, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Tom Brady and Robert Kraft next.
Well, so much for that.
This is a hot flash. This is a hot flash. But this is a not flash. For moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms due to menopause, Veoza is the first and only prescription treatment that directly blocks the source of hot flashes and night sweats. With 100% hormone-free Veoza, you can have fewer hot flashes and more not flashes. Veoza reduces the number and severity of hot flashes day and night. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP2 inhibitors. Increased liver blood test values may occur. Your doctor will check them before and during treatment. Most common side effects include stomach pain, diarrhea, difficulty sleeping.
Wow, that was bullshit.
Your doctor about hormone-free Veoza and enjoy more not flashes. You can save on Veoza. Visit saveonveoza.com to learn more. Summer's burning heat is here. And for many animals, that can't come fast enough.
These animals are suffering from rays of sun that they can't escape. They don't have access to any shelter or shade. They're licking the bottom of bowls that have been dry for days. These animals are dying from heat.
For many animals across the country right now, the suffering is excruciating and time is
There are animals wasting away under the hot sun, no access to shelter, no access to fresh water. They are suffering.
Will you help an animal who's suffering in the burning sun right now? Visit this website, call or scan the code on your screen. Your gift of just $19 a month can be the difference between life and death for an animal this summer.
There are situations in which an animal will lay down and they will give up, because that honestly is their better escape from this reality.
And that's why we can't give up, and why we need you right this minute, before it's too late. 63 cents a day will provide shelter, water, and loving care to an animal who may not survive much longer. Say yes to pulling an animal out of the burning heat today. Join with your monthly gift in the next 5 minutes, and we'll send you this welcome kit and one-of-a-kind t-shirt.
We know it's our responsibility to give them that shelter as soon as possible, to give them that water, to give them that chance to survive.
So please don't wait another second. Help rescue an animal today. Go online, call, or scan right now.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we grew sick and tired of flying flags that were made overseas, flags that would rip and tear easily, so we really made a commitment to quality. All of our flags are finished hard packing at all distress points, and they are sewn in a double needle lock stitch.
All of our flag materials are sourced in America, and they are made by American seamstresses. So we're American made from beginning to end.
Shop now at showallegiance.com.
The biggest benefit, honestly, has been with my skin. Skin was more hydrated, more radiant.
This is the best superfood that you can take.
All the essential nutrients you need for your skin, gut, energy, focus, mood, performance.
My hair has gotten so much thicker ever since taking this.
Probiotic green juice that replaced it all with this hormone colostrum. It is amazing.
You gotta take it.
You want to try it? Try armor.com.
The best things in life come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thumbs up. And now, buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, 2 months free. All with fast, reliable, nationwide coverage. Make the switch today.
Playing football builds character. Look at me. I turned into one. Played in middle school and high school. I was too skinny, but was fast enough and loved to hit. Football practice turns you into a man. You're in full pads, 90-degree weather in August, and then practicing at night in early December below freezing. Can't feel your hands. You learn a lot about yourself on the field, and it brings the guys together, especially on defense. I sent my high school highlight reel to my college, and they sent it right back in the mail. But my daughters play flag football, and I'll be having Jesse Jr. play football whether he likes it or not. And he'll like it. He's a bruiser. Talent only goes so far. Work ethic is what makes you stand out. Just ask Tom Brady. Has it always been that way for Brady? He was an afterthought in the 2000 draft, falling to the 6th round. But when Bledsoe went down, Brady left the bench and never returned. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny his hunger.
I would encourage everyone to play football for the simple reason that it is hard. It's hard when you're young to wake up in the off season at 6 a.m. to go train and work out, knowing that all your friends are sleeping in and eating pancakes. It's hard to throw, catch, block, and tackle, and hit kids when they're way bigger and way more developed than you, only to go home that night bruised and battered and strained, but knowing you have to show up again the next day for just the chance to try again. But understand this, life is hard.
That's why this week, the New England Patriots inducted him into their Hall of Fame. Owner Robert Kraft honored Brady with a sold-out ceremony at Gillette Stadium, retiring his iconic number 12 jersey.
There is only one iconic number that will always represent Tom Brady. And tonight, I promise that it will never be worn again. As the number 12 is now officially retired.
Patriots owner Robert Kraft joins me now from a picturesque, beautifully undisclosed location somewhere on the coast. All right, Robert, you know Tom almost better than anybody in the league. What made him so different?
Well, he's, I remember him coming to us 20 odd years ago, and he came down the stairs during training camp. He had a pizza box under his arm, and he came over to me. I was just rounding out, and he said, "Well, Mr. Kraft, I want to introduce myself." And I said, "I know who you are. You're Tom Brady, another 6th-round draft choice, number 199 from Michigan." And he looked me in the eye, and he said, "And I'm the best decision this organization has ever made." That was in 1999, getting ready for the 2000 season. And, when he came in, he was the 4th quarterback. But he's one of these people, I've never met anyone like him in my life. And I just explain it like this. When he goes into the huddle, he makes average people better. He has a way to motivate and connect with people that's so unusual. But when you get him off he's the most vicious, fierce competitor. But off the field, he is the kindest, gentle. He's a man who goes to tears. He cares about people. And I've never met anyone with that kind of resilience, but he has a bond to be soft and then a bond to really be a killer.
when he came to you with the pizza box, and he told you right then that this was the best decision you've ever made drafting him, what gave him that confidence?
I'll never forget it. We had just given Drew Bledsoe, first player ever to get a $100 million contract. He was our starting quarterback. There were two others. And, you know, thank God the coach at Michigan never played him the way he should have, because we never would have got him in the 6th round. And it just, you know, he works hard, I'll tell you something else that was unique about him. Players want to earn money and earn as much as they can, and we have a salary cap. So when he really had won 3 Super Bowls, you know, in his first 4 years with us, I said, it was a new contract. The agent was pushing really big time. And I said, look, we'll give you that, but I wish you'd take 30% less, because that's not going to go in my pocket. It's going to go around to other players to make you better. And he's the only player in my history, I've been in the league now for 30 years, who would take less money to make the team better.
Well, I did something similar in order to make sure Gutfeld and Perino and Judge Janine were happy. I told Fox I'd gladly take a 30% pay cut just so the 5 stays together and keeps coming along. Not a lot of people know that story, but I'm glad I was able to share that.
Well, that's the Waters way.
You look like you've been practicing the sign-up. You're very good at it. What is some simple advice that people could digest tonight from you?
I think Tommy articulated it beautifully. And if you want to win, it's really a team sport. It's not individual. And you got to get along with all kinds of people from all backgrounds. If you're not good and you're a running back, your line isn't blocked for you, or the tight end isn't blocking when you're doing the end around.
2 days.
You get along with all people. Put team first. We need more of that in America today. So thank you for what you
We have to boost it.
Robert Kraft, as an Eagles fan, I can say, I like you. I don't love you, but I like you.
Well, we let you win one big one. Thank you.
Breaking news on aliens. Right back.
Every generation, somebody arises to annihilate us.
Nearly 50% of Jews in America have changed their behavior for being targeted.
This unit came down directly in my face and spotted me. Your grandparents should have burned and died, and I don't have to stop until you do. What's going on campuses reminds me of World War II. Just imagine what would have happened if Hitler had TikTok.
Anti-Semitism in America, narrated by Benjamin Hall, only on Fox Nation.
Fruit and vegetable ingredients have never been more convenient.
It's easy for me to recommend Balance of Nature. It's so simple. It's amazing getting the fruits and vegetables ingredients in, free bread and free green capsules.
I take Balance of Nature. I think it's a good product. It's convenient. It's a way to start off with a plus. I can do a little capsules in the morning when I'm off to work, you know.
I would recommend Balance of Nature. It's so easy to do every day. I really am happy that I came across it. I feel great, and who doesn't want to feel great?
Due to popular demand, the free vibrant spice plus 35% off promotion is extended. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. Don't wait. This offer is only available while supplies last, with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Use discount code FOXNEWS. Have you ever thought of getting a walk-in tub for you or someone you love? Now is a great time to take a look at getting a Safe Step walk-in tub. With Safe Step's standard heated seat and new fast-fill faucet, you can enjoy a nice warm bath up to 20% faster.
Safe Step walk-in tubs are built to maximize safety, so you can stay in your home and enjoy the comforts of bathing again.
Oh, no, to receive 15% off. Plus a cover. 20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Row. Connect with a provider today at row.co/life.
When I called the filter, I saw my gutters on the soils on the porch.
Filters a permanent gutter solution. You never have to worry about tossing in and clogged gutters again.
It's easy as calling Rick.
Call me 333-444-HOPE. Shopper.com. Shopper.com.
Shopper creations,
award-winning chocolate seeds, world-class chocolate, world-class chocolate, shopper.com. The world's best chocolate delivered straight to your door. I'm Matt.
I'm Melissa, and together we started Fresh Clean Friends.
Day one, our fresh green teas were made to offer a flattering fit for all body types and not break the bank. Unleash your confidence at freshcleanthreads.com.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
Another particularly bad week for Joe Biden. His son was just convicted on federal gun charges, and his trip to Europe, that was a disaster. Whole recap tonight on Hannity.
It's a fun bet for local.
If you're working to live in the same place, that very much makes it a local feel.
Because we're able to get way more responsible right here in our community.
It kind of was a joke, but every time I'd walk in to say it's Corey, they'd say, Coach Bill Corey, and they would just let me through.
I really feel good about helping other people. And that's how I was brought up. When an impaired driver killed my brother TJ, my life changed forever. During the pandemic, all of our lives changed, and many of us turned to alcohol and drugs. As life returns to normal, the increase in substance use for COVID has occurred, and some police services report an increase in impaired driving that caused heartbreak and devastation. Now, more than ever, we need your commitment to never drive impaired, and to encourage all of your family and friends to do the same. Together, we can save lives.
Every time I was making the sacrifice. When I found out about the United Way, I was sitting inside the hospital on the phone, talking with someone saying, I was dead. I might as well be dead. For 14 years, I never thought that was possible. It made me happy.
Donald Trump might not believe in aliens, but he knows people who do.
Am I a believer? No, I can't say I am. But I have met with people that are serious people that say there's some really strange things that they see flying around out there.
Those people aren't alone. According to a new Harvard study, aliens might be living among us, right here on Earth, disguised as humans. And all the UFO sightings we hear about, those are just spaceships from other planets coming to visit their alien friends here on Earth. So who are these aliens living among us? They're called crypto-terrestrials. They're highly advanced, incredibly deceptive, and capable of hiding in plain sight. There are several theories on the origins of these crypto-terrestrials. Some speculate an advanced ancient civilization was destroyed, with only a few surviving in secrecy, possibly in the base on the moon. We don't know for certain where these crypto-terrestrials are from, even if they exist, but one thing's for certain. Many believers think that the government knows more than they're letting on. The Pentagon official came forward this week revealing their 7-minute encounter with a glowing turquoise UFO, which gave off enough energy to power a city. That official isn't alone. More UFO whistleblowers are breaking their silence and exposing what they've seen. Watch.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Biological anthropology professor who conducted this study, Michael Masters, joins us now. Okay, professor.
Okay.
Have you seen one of these, what are they called, crypto-terrestrials living among us?
I've not seen one personally, no. And actually, the study is a very conservative approach to this question. As you did a great job highlighting in your intro piece there, this is a real phenomenon. And we need to take it seriously, and we need to start asking the questions about what are they, who are they, where are they coming from, potentially when are they coming from, and even could they have set up shop here on Earth in the past and be living amongst us?
Wow, you say it's a real phenomenon. How do we know it's a real phenomenon?
I mean, if you look across time and space, these have been reported for millennia. And even if you don't want to take that at face value, look at the cockpit videos, look at all of the reports by military police officers whose testimony we can certainly take seriously because they're trained to identify things that are a threat. And they're trained to identify things that are unexplainable. And there's so many cases where they do report just that.
So the difference is we all see these things or hear about them visiting, right? The spaceship or there's a sighting. But
How many
this study
people,
takes it
man?
a step further. It's saying they're living among us. Does that mean like Dutch
It's like
elves
8 people I gotta get rid of. I don't
and
think
just
so.
disguised as a cable TV host?
It's certainly possible, and I would like to know that because you never know. But we should take the question of UFOs seriously. What we're trying to do is offer a grounded scientific approach to some possibilities about what they might be. So yeah, there have been other proposals as well. Me personally, I've written 3 books about whether they could be future human time travelers coming back to visit their own past, and in the same way I would as a biological anthropologist if I had access to that technology. And that is one of the possibilities we include in this paper as well.
Oh, I would do that too. I'd go back in time. I'd play high school football all over again, and I'd do so much better.
And you know what the other team's going to do because you're from the future.
I'd pick off every pass. It'd be great. All right, Michael Masters, thank you again. I got to research some of your studies a little further. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Justin. Good talking to you.
It's time for Sink or Swim, sponsored by Prevagen. Tonight we got Joe Concha, who's rocked out in the Marlins jersey, and Emily Campagna, who looks like mustard.
Sorry.
Ow.
Getting ready for July 4th, everyone.
I love it. Put it on a dog. The category is Get in the Ring. This former wrestler was toyed with a run for office. Says if he did run, he would rule with an iron fist, a flat tax, and nothing but common sense. Was it Hulk Hogan or The Rock? Hulk.
The Rock.
Okay.
Be the president or vice president. I'll volunteer to take this country over, and I'll rule with an iron fist, a flat tax, and nothing but common sense.
All right, Emily, you're down 1, but you know it's not over yet. Here's the category. Here, Piggy. We've all seen a lot of stray dogs out at the border, but rarely a stray pig. Which Fox News reporter posted a video feeding a hog? Was it Bill Melugin or Matt Finn? Bill Finn.
Finn for sure.
Double Finn.
There he is. Yep, that's not Bill's hair.
That's Finn. That's not his hair. Okay, we got 2-1. Categories bottoms up. We know Elizabeth Warren loves to drink beer, and she's at it again. Oh. This time enjoying a cold bev with one of Biden's cabinet members. Was it Pete Buttigieg or Jennifer Granholm?
Granholm.
Firsthand, which is at Eastwick there in that brewery. Cheers to a bright, clean energy future for Massachusetts. Cheers to lowering energy costs. Cheers to the America. And to beer.
All right, this is the last one.
If I cringe any harder, I'd be a fossil.
Which Paul brother said he wants both Trump and Biden to show up to one of his fights so they could meet young voters? Was it Jake or Logan?
Crap, I don't know which one's which.
I know, I was just thinking, I know the name,
I think
but
that's
not the
Jake,
face.
right?
All the white guys look alike.
If this is Jake,
That's Jake
then
Underwood.
I'm going Jake.
Okay.
I want both Donald Trump Jr. and Biden to come to
Is
one
that
fight.
this one?
But
Jake.
Oh, Jake, wait,
knows
it is
which
Jake.
president is actually going to show up, talk to the people,
I
get
think
in the
that's right.
meetings, and meet the young
No,
voters
that's
where they're
right.
at.
Oh,
For the oldest one in the bunch. Were you trying to put up Jake?
yeah. Correct. If you said this was Jake, I was trying to put Jake because I knew the name but not the face.
I honestly didn't know which one.
But it's okay. I will lose gracefully.
She's going to lose
I knew
gracefully.
it was Jake.
Not a lot of people have lost gracefully on this show. So good job. Take that.
I'm Concha, and this is my county. How's that?
I like it. You're onto something, Concha. Emily, sorry about the mustard comment. Look like great football.
Yeah.
More prime time ahead.
Tonight's game show is sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand. Stay sharp with Prevagen.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years. When I have customers come in and ask for something for memory, I recommend Prevagen. #1 because it's safe and effective. It does not require a prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really worked so good for me. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
Organic soil from Miracle Grow has grown me the best garden I have ever had.
Good soil, and you get good results.
Look at that.
The broccoli was fantastic.
That broccoli, I think some of them were 6-7 pounds.
I was so excited to buy my first home, but I needed a lot of work done on it. I went on to Angie. JD was the first person to call. He's resurfaced my flooring. He's done plumbing work. He's refinished this beautiful table here.
Find top-rated certified pros in your area at Angie.com.
My name's Trevor. I've tried other diets in the past. Never lasted. Before too long, my cravings came back, especially my sugar craving, and fell off the wagon. Release worked fast. My sweet tooth is gone. I'm so happy with my progress. And now I love myself.
Ever feel like you're all alone and no one cares about you? I want you to know something. You're not alone. God cares about you. God loves you. And you don't have to ever be lonely again. Because Jesus Christ can come and live inside of your heart and be your Savior and your Lord. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about a relationship with God. He's just a prayer away. You can just pray a prayer like this. Jesus, I want you to come into my life. Forgive me of my sin. I want to start this relationship with you now. You'll pray a prayer like that. God will hear it and answer it. And you can know that you'll have purpose in this life and hope in the life to come. And if you prayed that prayer, let me send you a Bible at no charge to help you get started in your relationship with God.
Lumina is the first fluoride-free toothpaste I've ever found that actually works. My dentist is blown away with how clean and white my teeth are. My gums and teeth are so healthy, it's crazy. You can get Lumina toothpaste at Walmart and Target.
Did you know you can save with GoodRx even if you have insurance?
I'm on Medicare. I check GoodRx because I can beat my copay. You don't like that?
Even if you have insurance, GoodRx cannot be saved. Another good reason to check GoodRx.
Hi, Grandma. I played baseball today.
Oh, that's great.
What position did you play?
First base.
My grandpa used to play.
When our hearing wouldn't allow us to use a regular phone, it made us feel isolated.
It became difficult to communicate with our friends and family.
Clear Captions was an easy solution for us.
Clear Captions provides captions on the phone, like captioning on your TV, so you can see what the caller is saying live as they say it.
Making it easy to understand and respond immediately.
There is no insurance or Medicare required. Clear Caption service is provided at no cost to you through a federally funded program. We deliver, install, and train you on how to use your phone, all at no cost to you.
Give your loved ones the independence and connection they deserve.
Call now to see if you qualify to get a Clear Captions phone at no cost to you. Call 1-800-979-0270. That's 1-800-979-0270.
Experience the rich history and culture of the Columbia and St. Rivers with American Cruise Lines, the leader in U.S. river cruising. Aboard the newest fleet of modern riverboats, retrace the journeys of Lewis and Clark as you admire the breathtaking scenic landscapes of the Pacific Northwest. Visit AmericanCruiseLines.com or call for a free cruise guide.
Generiva supports more brain health.
Hey, Johnny. Hey. Frank? Brad, how are you? Brad.
Up to 7 brain health indicators, including your memory. Join the Generiva Brain Health Challenge. Work.
Play. Blink. Relief. Work. Play. Flake Relief.
The only 3-in-1 extended relief formula for dry eyes.
Flake.
A lot of storms are forecast to be high.
Fuck. Wrong click.
Everyone's pulled a Biden before it happens to the best of us. It looks like this.
It is noteworthy that the percentage of women who register to vote and cast a ballot is consistently higher than the percentage of the men who do so. End of quote. Repeat the line. Because of the actions we've taken, things have begun to change. End of quote.
4 more years.
4 more years. 4 more years.
Senator John Fetterman found himself pulling a Biden. Watch this.
Under the previous order, the Senate stands adjourned until 3 p.m. on Monday. Bang, gavel.
He's in a tough mood. Got into a car accident, dodged anti-Israeli protesters, put on a tie. Gosh, Fetterman's starting to grow up. We just booked our Christmas vacation. It's in June. Okay? Never too late. Things get booked up fast. You can do that with your whole life. You can just look for the week ahead and say, who do I want to be? What do I want to do? And you just book it ahead. I'm going to do this Tuesday. I'm going to do this Wednesday. You produce it. You can produce your own life. Let's produce some texts.
Yeah.
Colorado, why would you tell illegals how to vote?
2 faceless rats.
I didn't think of that. Joe from Massachusetts, will the
Well, 1.
terrestrials be allowed to vote too? Definitely.
They're having a jerk-off segment. Where's your boys? We caught you right in the middle of the
What
Vaseline.
the test would be. Maybe I am and I don't even know it. Maybe I am. Janet from Corpus Christi, Texas. Pelosi says Trump's lazy. I'm from the South where all we have to say is bless her heart. Ronbo. What's up, Ronbo? Prescott, Washington. I thought Hanoi Jane was anti-war. Her candidate, Joe Biden, starting wars left and right. Trump started 0 wars. She clearly has TDS. Maybe it's the hearing aid thing. Barbara from Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. I love Tom Brady's speech. I always say, life's tough, get a helmet. And make your sons play football. Joey from Oak Ridge, North Carolina. Is it a sin to headbutt the Pope? I don't know what that was. Was that a confession? Was he smelling the Pope? Chuck from Denton, Texas. What position did you play in football? Water boy doesn't count.
Shit.
Can you guard a tackle? I sat at the end of the bench, guarded the water cooler, and tackled anybody that came near. Charlie from Georgia, I was surprised to hear you play football. You always struck me as a tennis player. I play tennis too, man. I play everything. Margarita from Michigan, who is a better athlete, you or Gutfeld? You don't even have to ask. It's all for tonight. DVR the show. Sean Hannity is next. Does he have Trump tonight again? We love Sean. Always remember, I'm Waters, and this is my world.
Welcome to the special edition of Hannity. I'm Kaylee McEnany, and for Sean. Well, it's been a rough week for Joe Biden, with one bad headline after another. On Tuesday, his son Hunter was found guilty, convicted on all charges for his federal gun crimes. Then on Wednesday, the president flew to Italy for the G7 summit. And his trip, it's safe to say, was marked by bizarre gaffes and embarrassing blunders. In fact, according to a report from The Sun, this trip was such a disaster that it raised alarm among our allies, with one diplomatic insider saying he lost focus during discussions before calling his condition, quote, the worst he has ever been in. And a non-U.S. attendee told The Sun that Biden's missteps were, quote, embarrassing. And keep in mind, all this is happening while Russian warships arrived in Cuba, that's about 100 miles from the U.S. mainland, for military exercises right by the state of Florida. Our adversaries are watching this embarrassing president. And when Pope Francis visited the summit earlier today, Biden greeted him in a rather awkward way. with a forehead-to-forehead embrace. I mean, look at that. Is he headbutting the Pope? It kind of looks like it. He left the Pope looking a bit surprised. And let's not forget what happened at the White House's Juneteenth celebration earlier this week, where Biden appeared to completely freeze while everyone around him was dancing before delivering these gap-filled remarks.
Closing doors of opportunity, attacking the guise of diversity, equity, and inclusion. You can believe it, painting books about black experiences, trying to erase and rewrite history. These black soldiers were linked to the distinguished line of patriots, enslaved and free, risked their lives in every war since the founding of our ideals. We don't know fully what American soil is. Equality and freedom. She knew so long as she was denied, our freedom can never be secured.
Oops.
I mean, at least he found his way off the stage, but I think I need a translator for his remarks. I couldn't quite understand that. And that was far from Biden's only disaster behind the podium this week. During a press conference in Italy with Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky, he snapped at a reporter, completely lost it, for playing, quote, by the rules. Take a look.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question for President Zelensky shortly on the announcements, but if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you about your discussions on the situation in Gaza here at the summit. You were asked just a short time ago about it after the skydiving demonstration. Can you give us your assessment of Hamas's response? And do you believe that they are trying to work towards a deal, or is this response working against a deal? And what is your message to allies, including those here at the G7, about what more, if anything, the U.S. can do to drive towards a peace agreement? Thank you.
I wish you guys would play by the rules a little bit. I'm here to talk about a critical situation in Ukraine.
The reporter broke the rules. Remember the rules. Well, the White House Correspondents Association fired back after Biden's outburst, saying in part, quote, at a presidential press conference at home or abroad, there are no preconditions regarding question topics. And adding insult to injury on Biden's disastrous week, a disturbing new report, replete with pictures and all, alleges that Biden repeatedly watched his dogs attack his Secret Service agents. Here's reaction former 2024 presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. You know, Vivek, I'm stunned by this moment with the reporter. That was Josh Wingrove from Bloomberg that asked about Gaza. I am not typically complimentary of the White House press corps. Go watch my 2020 press briefings. However, they asked some good questions. And yet Biden totally exploded. News to Biden, Vivek. You're about to meet Donald Trump at T-minus 14 days. Get ready, buddy.
Well, the reality is it's embarrassing as an American. Forget the partisan politics of it. You see, this is the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, and at least once that used to be the president and leader of the free world as we know it. Behaving in this way looks like you have a lobotomized president sitting in the White House today. I think it's a national embarrassment regardless of your partisan affiliation. The reality, though, Kaylee, is I think that 13-day from now debate is really the final step for Biden. Either he steps up and surpasses expectations, or that's the final hurdle they're making him jump through as a condition for getting the DNC nomination. So the reality is, if he behaves that way as he did at the G7, I expect we're going to be looking at a new nominee for the Democratic Party.
Interesting. Vivek, you're a brilliant communicator, probably the best we have in the party at the moment. And, you've stood on the debate stage. You've gone toe-to-toe with others. And I'm curious, there were low expectations for Biden with the State of the Union. He did jump over those low expectations. Do you think whatever he did, I don't know if it was like a Red Bull, whatever that routine was, can he jump over that same hurdle on a debate stage, or is it a totally different dynamic?
I think it's a totally different animal, reading from a teleprompter and using your vocal cords to actually scream at the television screen, versus actually being able to think on your feet while you're engaging with the heart of what somebody's saying. I think American people, especially on a one-on-one debate, are going to be able to see through the artifice they've otherwise been projecting. President Trump, I think, has been doing an outstanding job of showing up in places where he's not been expected to show up. From the South Bronx to the Libertarian Convention in D.C., where I was as well. Those are audiences where Republicans traditionally may not be comfortable. So he's warmed up and perfectly ready to face somebody in an uncomfortable circumstance. Biden's facing scripted questions and accusing reporters of breaking the rules, his words, not mine, for asking questions that go outside of his script. So do I believe CNN's going to do everything in their power to make Biden look as good as he possibly can? Of course they are. That's the purpose of this debate. But even still, the second purpose is for this to serve as the final hurdle, where if he fails even that easiest of tests, I do believe, Kaylee, there's a real possibility we'll be looking at another Democratic nominee later this summer.
Okay, so let's tease that out. So Brett Stevens at the New York Times repeats this week that if Biden wants to win, he needs to step aside. You had The Atlantic, a liberal publication, call him Ruth Bader Biden, insinuating he needs to learn when to exit. You had James Carville, bad comments about Biden and his abilities. So there is this clarion call from the liberal press and from some on the left that this shouldn't be the nominee. So tease this out. How does this happen? He has a disastrous debate performance. There's just public pressure.
Once per game?
How does that look?
I think it's between then and the convention, Kaylee. The reality is anything can happen before the convention. They've said it in August. I believe the other side actually knows what they're doing. If they get another nominee too early, that's enough time for vetting, enough time for the honeymoon phase to fade. But if they're swapping in another nominee in August, say right around the time of the convention, that's the best case scenario for them because you get the honeymoon phase with the new candidate without the scrutiny that comes with it. So I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but play this out. This is the earliest presidential debate in American history, and the first ever, to my knowledge, that has taken place before the nominating convention of either party. Ask yourself why they're doing it, and more importantly, ask yourself why the Democrats made it a condition of Biden debating that they placed that date that early. You gotta skate to where the puck is going. And that's why I think it's so important, Kaylee, that we not fixate on Joe Biden. We have to stand for our own vision. I spoke in Detroit, Michigan earlier today at the TPUSA event. I think it's great when Republicans show up in the inner cities of this country. My message to that group was, regardless of which puppet they put up, we have to decide what we stand for as conservatives and as Americans. That's how we're going to win this election, not by fixating on Biden, because there's a good chance it may not even be.
Wise advice, just a few moments here, but do they leapfrog Kamala and someone else comes in?
So this is a great difficulty for the Democratic Party. The smartest decision that Joe, or maybe it was Jill, Biden actually made was selecting Kamala Harris as the VP. The only thing worse than Joe Biden for the Democratic Party would having Kamala Harris in that seat. However, I think they will be able to sidestep that problem, perhaps by making the VP again on a ticket, or else by bowing to the temple of identity politics, by at least going with another candidate who checks certain boxes that the modern Democratic Party requires you to check. She's in charge of AI policy. I'm pretty sure she can't even spell AI.
Go back to frags.
Most Democrats see that. So I doubt they'll.
Oh, it's your missing body, buddy.
Somebody else who might actually have a greater functioning intellect than either Kamala or Joe Biden, which is setting a low bar, but is nonetheless what we need to be prepared for.
It is an interesting time. Okay, thank you. On Monday, Hunter Biden was convicted on 3 counts of gun-related crimes. He now faces the possibility of years in prison. But still, Joe Biden says he won't commute his son's sentence. Does anyone believe that? We'll see if he changes his mind after the election when there are no political consequences. Meanwhile, speaking to Fox News' Aisha Hafsi yesterday, Trump expressed empathy for the Bidens and what they've had to deal with over Hunter's addiction.
It's a very tough situation for a father. It's a very tough situation for a brother or sister. And it goes on, and it's not stopping, whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever it may be. It's a tough thing, and so it's a tough moment for their family. It's a tough moment for any family involved.
Here with reaction, Fox News contributors Tammy Bruce, excuse me, I almost called you Lisa Booth. She's great too. Tammy Bruce and Miranda Devine. Tammy, look, bingo, bullseye. That was an incredibly good answer from Trump. It is exactly how we should handle this in a debate.
Well, absolutely, and it's not difficult. We should expect this from Trump because his biggest superpower is the fact that he's genuine, that he doesn't have to think about what his position should be or where the polls are going. For him, it's also very personal because people will know that his brother died as an alcoholic and made Donald Trump promise on his deathbed to not indulge in drugs or alcohol. And the president agreed, and he said, I won't do that. He embraced his brother and said, okay, I'll follow that rule, making him the man he is today, arguably, and making him who I think will be seen as one of the best presidents in the country's history. So he understands what it does to a family, and he doesn't weigh whether it's smart or not to be empathetic, or whether he should have said something mean, which is what, of course, the Bidens did to President Trump on his birthday. It's like, you're not going to be petty. He gets it. But that same empathy, Kaylee, also informs policy decisions, like ending taxes on tips. You've got to care about the American people, the average person, and once again, the forgotten man and woman when it comes to policy and the ideas of what can you do as president. So that kind of power, that kind of personal dynamic matters with policy, leadership, caring about the American people, because as you've seen with the Biden administration and the Democrats, if you don't like Americans, you're going to do bad things to them. And that's what we're facing right now.
Miranda, one of the most revealing items to come out of the Hunter Biden trials was further verification of the laptop, which you have been on top of since day one. I was banned from Twitter during my tenure as press secretary for tweeting New York Post story, and there were absolute crazy people across liberal media saying things like this. Take a look.
She will expose you all as fools and useful idiots for the Russians.
Does it surprise you at all that this information Rudy Giuliani is peddling very well could be connected to some sort of Russian government disinformation campaign?
Well, we know that this whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin. That's been clear for well over a year now.
To me, this is just classic textbook Soviet Russian tradecraft at work.
Here's what I want to know from you, Miranda. You know, there was the Steele dossier, then there was the Russia laptop. Is there going to be a 3.0 of this, some other scheme from within the intel community this go around?
Of course there will be, Kaylee, for sure. We don't know what it is yet, but the intelligence community has been interfering with our elections, maybe, longer than we know. Certainly 2020 and 2016 with the Russia hoax. So why would they? They're so afraid of Donald Trump. They think that he's an existential threat. So that's what they've saddled us with. They saddled us with Joe Biden, and they want to do it again. Or, as Vivek just said, whoever they decide is their next puppet. Talk about useful idiots. All the people that you just showed on screen, they're the useful idiots of the people like
That's a weird one.
From the Democratic Party, or James Clapper from the intelligence community. And, those 51 former intelligence officials who wrote that dishonest letter specifically on the orders of the Biden campaign, Antony Blinken, then a senior advisor, now the Secretary of State. We know now that he instigated that letter, and he got these 5 former CIA directors or acting directors and all of their chums, mostly from the CIA, to write that letter to dishonestly, falsely say that the laptop and therefore our stories were Russian disinformation, knowing that it wasn't, and doing it specifically to give Joe Biden a get-out-of-jail-free card, and it worked for them. So I think now, though, certainly Donald Trump is a lot smarter and more knowledgeable, let's say, not as naive as we all were back then. Now I think everyone's eyes are wide open about the nefarious activities of our own intelligence community that is turning its weapons that are supposed to keep American people safe on the American people.
Yeah, it's reprehensible. Those useful idiots in the press, remember, they won Pulitzers for the Russia reporting. Isn't that nice? That turned out to be wrong. Tammy, back to the debate. Biden is about to go sequester at Camp David, according to reporting, and prepare. And I just think his debate preparers are really off base. They are anticipating meeting a Trump that's going to be wild and unscripted and loose with his words. And they also said this to Politico Playbook about the Hunter story in particular. The president learned of the conviction while at the White House just miles away. His team held a series of conversations at their campaign headquarters to discuss the aftershocks of the verdict. This is according to 3 Biden officials. This is the interesting part.
The general belief among aides is that it will not change the trajectory of the race, but will likely become a focal point of the upcoming debate with Donald Trump. If they've read any reporting, Trump is not going to make Hunter a focal point. Who are they preparing to meet on stage?
Yeah, we see this kind of nonsense, this lack of a connection with reality within the team itself. Of course, it's manifesting in national policy, international policy, the willingness to put Biden in the situation he was in with the G7 in Italy. The things they're willing
I don't have the action points.
They seem themselves to be as confused as President Biden. So at this point, and look, what Trump has to figure out, and he already has, because this again is his strength, is he knows what he believes in. He knows what he stands for. He knows what the problems is, as you've noted, and as Miranda's noted, he's not as unaware of the nature of who these people are, but he also has made a final commitment to this country through this race, knowing what it would do to him. So he's got the wind of our support at his back. That helps him tremendously. But the Biden team, I think, it's not just Joe Biden. It's not like he's got a team of geniuses that are backing him up in the midst of all of this. These are it's the same cadre of more useful idiots who think that they're the power of the universe and we don't really need a president. The bureaucracy can do it. The Obama people can do it. And my goodness, they have no idea. And this is what we see as the kind of the flailing. And we're going to see it in the debate. But Trump has got to be prepared, as he always will be. He will be himself, which is what people love. And I think that because he's the only one who has a vision, he'll be fine.
No doubt. Tammy Miranda, thank you. While former President Trump continues to unite the Republican Party ahead of November, the left continues to hurl vile insults, not at him and his supporters. Take a look at what one former MSNBC host had to say.
The real problem is not the party itself. It's the voters who are subscribing to the party. 74 million of them last time around. This time, Trump ahead in the polls, not by a lot.
Meanwhile, according to a report tonight by CBS News, Biden is planning to announce an immigration relief program that would offer legal status to hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants in the United States. Because that's the problem we have right now. Not enough illegal immigrants who are legal. All right, here is reaction. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Senator Tim Scott, always wonderful to have you, particularly tonight. Thanks for being here. So Thursday, you're in a meeting with former President Trump. You said it was a very unifying meeting. For instance, Senator Mitt Romney was not supposed to be there. He ended up coming. Well, in this meeting, Trump said that one of his potential VP picks, perhaps the pick, could be in the room. You were in the room. Not only that, Punchbowl reported that you were the most talked about person on the short list. So the question I have for you is, it's a real possibility that you could get that vice presidential nod, is what you want your portfolio to look like. Kamala tried to be border czar, she tried voting rights, none of it has worked. What would you want to hone as your issue?
Well, the most important thing is, you're right, it's not the who, though. It's not whether it's me or somebody else. It's the what. The portfolio of the vice president should always reinforce the priorities of the president. Donald Trump's priorities are very simple. Let's close our southern border.
We're definitely saving this one. I don't want to mess this one up.
Greatest invasion in American history. We need to have someone who takes responsibility and closes the border.
How much easier when I have a save.
Of Donald Trump. We know what to do. We know the Remain in Mexico policy was quite effective. We know that changing the asylum rules actually reduces the number of folks. What we know doesn't work is granting amnesty, like Joe Biden wants to do, to a whole group of hundreds of thousands of people here illegally. By doing that, you only open the door and attract more people. Number two, the next vice president of the United States will follow in Donald Trump's footsteps as it relates to the economy. First-time home buyers are devastated by 7% mortgage rates. We know without any question, under Donald Trump, inflation was 1.4%. Home mortgage rates were around 3%. We're going to have someone willing to tackle the economy.
We need to get back to the lowest unemployment rates like we had under Donald Trump for every demographic, 50-year low for the majority population, 70-year low, Haley, for women, and the lowest ever for African Americans, Hispanics, and Asians. Whoever the vice president is should follow the lead of President Trump. He's done it once, he'll do it again. And let me just wrap this up with this. Crime is devastating the poorest communities in our country.
Yeah, no doubt.
Donald Trump believes in law and order.
No doubt about it. I saw that firsthand. You know, Senator, one of the interesting quotes that I saw this morning goes in contravention, I should say, of all the data. All the data shows that Trump is gaining among the black community. He's exceeding 20% support. He's going to new heights. But Congressman Jim Clyburn had some thoughts on that, the Politico playbook. Let's roll it.
I think Joe Biden is doing exactly what he needs to do to win re-election. I think the polling has taken place. Something is amiss with the polling. I don't know what's happening here, but I do know this. Anybody who believes that Donald Trump will get 30% of the black male vote, or 12% of the black female vote, I got a bridge down there on Jones.
I'm saving this.
What do you make of that?
Well, that bridge leads to Kiowa Island, one of the greatest tourist destinations in all the country. I might buy that.
Check you guys next time, all right?
Take that back. I will take that back. I can tell you, Donald Trump can exceed 30% of the black male vote in America.
Wow.
Two big reasons why. Number one, jobs. Number two, justice. Let's dive into the numbers on the jobs reports under Donald Trump.